Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayom Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Acharya Sudarshan His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai Ananda Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Gaura Premanandi all glorious assembled devotees all glorious assembled devotees all glorious assembled devotees all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Narari Prabhu, we have to face the television, because things have to be seen here. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So is my sound audible to all the devotees? Fine? Good. And I hope you all can see, because there is much to see along with what is being said. So I request if you kindly come in close so they can see some of the details on the slides. Please come forward. Thank you. So today is going to be a Srimad Bhagavatam class with a bit of a difference. Right? Usually we don't have presentations on classes, but you will see why we are having this format today. So thank you, dear devotees, for coming, all the beloved congregation devotees of Sri Sri Radha Vinod's temple. And thank you for having us here. It's been a pleasure last 2 days to interact with so many wonderful Vaishnavas of this congregation. It is making us more endeared to this beautiful Sangha of Vaishnavas. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu, for inviting us to also. So the presentation today is Lines in Stone, Jewels in the Annals of Human History. So there are billions of people in this world, and each one goes through his or her karmic workout and doing various things they have to do based on their karmic balance. And then through that, they perform so many activities throughout their lives. But after a few years, who remembers them? The life of almost everyone in this world are like lines in sand. What is a line in sand? All of us have, as a child, been on beaches on the seashore, and all of us at some time played and made various structures, monuments, bridges, crocodile holes, whatever we made. We made structures, and we just were attracted to them, and we loved to. And then it was time to go home. We went home, and then if you ever came back after a few days, it would have been washed away by the waves of the sea. Similarly, the waves of time wash away practically everything which we are doing and which we will ever do. But there have been people in this world who have walked in flesh and blood amongst us human beings who have made such an immense impact that they have changed the direction of human history. And it is such people who actually go down the pages for generations upon generations upon generations because they determine the future, not of their own lives, the future of the entire planet. So that is their power. Determine the life of millions of people will ever reside on this planet. And therefore, their activities, their life is like lines in stone. The English phrase lines in stone means that they are indelible. You cannot, if you ever see a stone on the beach or in the sea, and you see a line in that stone, you try to rub it, scrape it, do something to it, it will never leave. It is there inbuilt in the stone. They are indelible, indestructible. We want to talk about one such personality today whose life has made the most powerful impact in human history. And that is, this is a documented historical peep into the pre-ISKCON years of our beloved Param Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Right? Most of us, of course, we are ISKCON followers, so Prabhupada is not unknown to us. He's very, very known. He's a central figure of our life practically. And yet, having said that, we know sometimes a bit too little about Prabhupada. Most of us are usually aware about Prabhupada's activities post ISKCON. 1965, Prabhupada landed 17 September in Holy Land of America, Boston, and then New York. I say Holy Land because Prabhupada made it holy. Otherwise, it is unholy. But Prabhupada loved America in any case, so we can still say it is holy. And then those historical 12 years till 77, 14 November are known to us to a certain degree. However, what is important to also see as ISKCON's followers and devotees who are surrendering their lives to His Divine Grace are those years before he became Prabhupada, before he became the big Swamiji, right? What was he and what was he doing in Bharatvarsha? So we're going to take a peep not of the entire life from 1896 onwards, but only for about 7 years, right? From say about 58 to 1965. And that is a very special part of Prabhupada's because it is a massive preparation for the launch of his worldwide mission. Just like just like a plane moves on the tarmac, right? So for several years, Prabhupada is on the tarmac, moving, trying to create some momentum. And then these 7 years, actually, he goes off. And 65, he actually is in the sky, practically soaring into areas which his predecessors wanted him to do. So with this simple background, I invite all of you, dear devotees, to open your hearts and ears to this very endearing topic to our hearts, the life of His Divine Grace. This is the context. Srila Prabhupada wanted the whole world to know Krishna and be, just not to know him, but to be lovers of Krishna. We as followers understand that unless people understand Srila Prabhupada's life and the mercy and sacrifice he offered to the world, they will not be able to understand deeply what is Krishna. Because we understand Krishna through the life of his devotees. How important is that line? We can only understand Krishna through, we cannot understand Krishna directly. There is the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat. Without the person Bhagavat, the book Bhagavat simply remains theoretical. Because Srila Prabhupada is the best jewel of humanity. Sripad Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So this statement of Radhanath Swami Maharaj, my beloved Gurudev, inspired us to go deeper into Prabhupada's life and think how we can make this. So this is a Bhagavatam class, but not the book Bhagavat, but it is a person Bhagavat. So we're going to use the formula of three, right? When I say three means what? What does three mean? So there is one very special name of Krishna, beginning with three, Tribhanga, and also the Trivikrama. Yes. Kaviraj Goswami writes another nice name of Krishna from the word three. Three is called Triyadhish. Triyadhish, the Lord of threes. So three Purusha avatars, then Tribhuvana, right? Three parts of time, Bhutkal, Bhavishya, and Vartaman, right? So there are three modes of material nature, correct? So there are so many such threes are there, three guna avatars, etc. So there are a lot of such threes. So the scriptures called Krishna as Triyadhish, the Lord of threes. So we took that, we borrowed that term, and we fit it into Srila Prabhupada's life. So it is easy for us to sort of just catch up rather than just making it we segmented into three. So three things about. So we'll go use the word three many times. So three things in this is the beginning introduction, of course. Three lines in stone on Prabhupada's tender heart. Prabhupada's heart was very soft, very soft, right? And therefore it was deeply impacted. The three most important, impactful incidents of Prabhupada's life have been: the first is Ultadanga Junction Road, the interaction all of us know, 1922. How many of you have been to this place? Now? Recently? Yeah, I'm sure when you've seen that place, your heart is pounding with emotions, right? To see that very holy place where the two most powerful acharyas met together for the first time in their manifest Leela. So that is now under ISKCON's domain, and so proud of that, that it really happened by the hard work of the Vaishnavas. So that's the place when, as you know, Prabhupada was told that you should preach Krishna consciousness in the Western world in the English language, right? And that those words entered deep into Prabhupada's consciousness and they never left. It was the first line in his tender heart. That had become line in his heart. So his heart was not like stone, but heart was soft, but still it became like a line in stone. First line. Second line took in November 1935 when you see Srila Prabhupada's Divine Grace. That time is not Prabhupada, he's of course just Abhay Charan Aravinda Das, walking with his dear son who's holding his left hand is Vrindavan Chandra, and they're walking on the bank of Sri Radhakund. And that time he is told, there is trouble, there is turmoil, there is upheaval, and some crisis in the Gaudiya Mutt. Even though the presence of the Acharya, very unfortunate for him to see, and heart was very much pained by that. And he said to Abhay Arvinda Das Prabhu, our Prabhupada, that if you ever get money, print and publish books, right? So the mission was given, and how the mission would take place was revealed in 35, right? So if the mission is revealed, then the process, the methodology by which it would happen is by printing books. So that again was another powerful line in stone was created in Prabhupada's heart. And those words never ever, till the last breath of Prabhupada, that became his very intrinsic part of his existence. And the last line was created by in Prabhupada's heart in this nice letter, which was on 13 December 1936, where Prabhupada writes to His Divine Grace, who's at that time, Saraswati Thakur was at Puri, Gaudiya Mutt at Puri. Maybe you have seen that temple, nice temple. And Prabhupada is there, His Divine Grace is there, Saraswati Thakur. And he said, I'm a disciple of yours, very small disciple. You have so many sannyasis and so many brahmacharis, enunciates, but I'm a grihastha. And I would, but is there anything which you would like me to do? So Prabhupada is begging for a personalized instruction, right? Because the heart is pained that I want to have a departing instruction from my beloved Gurudev. So again, Saraswati Thakur writes back the same instruction which he had given to him in 1922, right? You should preach in the English language. This will do good to you and to the whole world. This was the last and final line. So these 3 episodes have been what you call as game changer in Prabhupada's life, right? And the 3 powerful seeds were planted in Prabhupada's heart at the time. So we're going to show you some beautiful pictures. Some of them are a little rare. You may not have seen them before. But does anybody of you know, we all know Prabhupada's, what is Prabhupada's home? What is Prabhupada's home? Bangalore. What is that? His home is, and his office is, and his place of worship is. All of us know that. But this was revelation after ISKCON. Please remember that. Before ISKCON was born in this world, what was Prabhupada's home? Vrindavan. It was still Vrindavan. We'll show the address of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada's office? His office was, this is his office address. So this is the document of Prabhupada's own handwriting, showing the first page of the diary, which was given to him by the Skindia Steamship Navigation Company, where he writes his personal memoranda. And he writes there, if some of you can probably read that, his home is Vrindavan, and his office is 2439 Chippiwada. Chippiwada. How many of you heard that place called Chippiwada? Some of you heard the word. Very nice. So Chippiwada is Prabhupada's office pre-ISKCON years. This is in Old Delhi. All right. This is the actual place. Please look at it very carefully. These are the beautiful beloved deities which Prabhupada actually stayed with for a good number of years. This is the Chippiwada deities, which are also from 2019 under ISKCON's domain. Very happy to have them. Very historical deities for all of us. We can go there and have darshan of these beautiful deities. And on the second floor attic, that triangle which you are seeing there is a triangle is housing below that the deities. So nobody should walk over that. So this triangle is made. And this is that sacred room where Prabhupada resided. And it is in this place that Prabhupada actually has conceived of his worldwide revolution. Nothing short he's not thinking of flooding Delhi with Krishna consciousness or India. He's actually this simple man of nearing 70 is thinking of flooding the world in all countries, in all towns, and all villages with the power of Mahaprabhu's grace. That revolutionary spirit was ignited powerfully at Chippiwada. Therefore, it's a very important place for all of us to know. So, this is Prabhupada's 3 homes in Vrindavan. So, the left side you are seeing is the Bamshi Gopalji temple, where Prabhupada started staying from 1959 for about 3 years. And this is on the opposite, the Keshi Ghat. It is not so famous among ISKCON devotees, but if you ever go to Keshi Ghat, please don't forget to offer obeisances here. This is Danta Samadhi of Gadadhar Pandit. Today it is famous as that, right? So please have a look at this nice temple. Prabhupada stayed here and he wrote poetries here, meditated here, and absorbed Vrindavan within his own heart, right? And these are the famous pictures of Prabhupada which you are seeing. This is the Radhamodar Mandir. Prabhupada is sitting opposite the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami. And some of his godbrothers and his well-wishers are sitting with Prabhupada in this room. Please note that this room of where Prabhupada is staying uh, is a temple which is 300 years plus old. So what happens to a room which is not used for 300 years? What happens to a house which is not used for a few years? It crumbles into ruins, right? Now this place was not used for 300 years, 3 centuries, right? And when he was invited to come and stay here by Gaura Chand Goswami, will show you that, the proprietor of this temple, Prabhupada immediately accepted because he wanted to stay close to his predecessors. And we will talk about that. And this is Prabhupada's 3rd place in Mumbai. This is not his office still, but Prabhupada loved Mumbai because it had offered many opportunities. And of course, he met one important person here who sent him to America, right? So this is the flyer. The left side you're seeing is a flyer, a pamphlet which was made by the Skindia Navigation Company, where Prabhupada is writing that it is. Prabhupada said that I went to. We don't. Prabhupada never felt I went to America. He never said I came to America. So that the Srimad Bhagavatam came to America, and I carried Srimad Bhagavatam with me. Right? Prabhupada was fully convinced that his singular going to America would not be as impactful as if he carried Krishna. We know that Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna in in his words are there, right? So he carried a literary incarnation of Krishna along with him, and therefore this is called as India's message of peace and goodwill. This is at a house where Prabhupada stayed in Andheri East. Andheri East, some of you know the suburb of Andheri in Mumbai, right? Where the Skindia Navigation Company housing colony was there. This is the same house where Prabhupada stayed there when he would come to, and Mrs. Morarji, Sumati Morarji, offered this place to stay when he came to Mumbai. So you can see down, it is the Skindia house. The lower down, you can see that. So when Prabhupada was at, as I said, in Keshi Ghat, Prabhupada wrote many poems. He was called by his disciples as Kavi. Not sorry, his godbrother, he was called as Kavi. You know, Prabhupada wrote poetry in the glorification of Sarojit Thakur also. So, the famous poetry, of course, bhajan which he wrote, we all sing is Boro Kripa Koile Adhamera Pati. That is Prabhupada wrote in when he's looking at the skyline of Boston, when he's in Boston Harbor, he's seeing that, and his heart is pouring out some beautiful stanzas from his heart are coming out. But however, Prabhupada wrote several poetries, but these poetries which I will quote now are actually going to reveal to us the heart, the inner heart of Prabhupada. When a singer writes a song, lyrics, he actually pours his heart. Or when a musician makes a music note, right? A good musician pours his emotions into his music, right? So when a great acharya writes poetry, it is not just fanciful writing of some, allegorical, some emotions, but actually they are deep in his own heart. So Prabhupada writing here, I'm sitting in Vrindavan alone getting many realizations. I have my wife, sons, daughters, grandsons, everything, but I have no money. Prabhupada's biggest challenge was always money. ISKCON was never started by the power of money, right? They are a fruitless glory. All that is left of this family is just simply a list of names, right? So, in this particular poetry, Prabhupada is disconnecting his heart from whatever vestigial attachments he may have had for his family, right? Because he is now embracing Vasudhaiva Kundubakam concept. On the spiritual platform, we all are relatives, brothers, billions of jivas. Please note, it is not billions of human beings. Prabhupada's heart is crying and praying for all jivas. This is the highest level of jivo daya, where his heart is crying for all the people of this world, because he knows that every jiva belongs to Krishna. All jivas are Krishna's children. This is the first poetry. Second poetry was written uh, before Jaladuta, which was there. It's called Viraha Ashtaka. This is on the Remembrance Day of Saraswati Thakur. On the strength of Lord Chaitanya's order, you sent all of your servants door to door as givers. There was preaching everywhere from sea to the Himalayas, but now in your absence, everything is darkness. Right? Saraswati Thakur left the world in 1936. Right? And then more than 2.5 decades have passed, and nothing has happened in pursuance of Saraswati Thakur's desire to make a worldwide society of preachers, right? Oh, oh, Srila Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, you are always compassionate towards the suffering jiva souls. On this occasion of your separation, I only see dejection. How can our tiny spiritual child survive without spiritual father, right? So Prabhupada is now feeling acute, very acute separation. It's called viraha. His viraha is very strong, right? We talk of viraha with Krishna, Radha Krishna viraha, but actually that emotion is primarily to be experienced with the spiritual master, right? And the Vaishnavas, and before we can even evolve into the realm of viraha with Krishna. Said Gurudev, without your absence, how will I really do this? Prabhupada is feeling so much dependency on the grace of his Guru Maharaj. He's feeling helpless that there is no help coming from anywhere. How can this me alone do this huge task which you have given me on my shoulders? I feel completely incapable of doing this. Right? And then in 61 February, there was a Vyasa Puja of Srila Prabhupada, is Saraswati Thakur, where his godbrothers came gathered in Vrindavan. So many of these godbrothers had migrated to Vrindavan, and with small mutts were there, and they had some simple followers, and they were maintaining some deity worship, and things were just going on in a very, very rudimentary manner. But Prabhupada writes in this Vyasa Puja, so they had came together, put a picture of Saraswati Thakur, put some garlands around him, sang the Guru Puja song, and like that, very simple. Prabhupada writes very strongly, a festival of flowers does not constitute worship. One who serves the message of the Guru really worships him. Our master said to preach from the seas across the earth, penetrate this universal shell, come together and preach this Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada is thinking about your universe, right? Such strong preaching that will crack the universal shell. So you can see Prabhupada's heart is bursting with the desire to do what his Guru Maharaj said. And he's so unhappy to see that just some Guru Puja, some flowers, some agarbatti here and there. He understands this is not going to satisfy our Guru Maharaj. This is not what he wanted. Right? So this is a third very touching, powerful poem. As I said, this reveals the heart of our Acharya. Right? What is the emotional content of his heart as he is going through these various years? And of course, then eventually, because Krishna is in the heart of all living beings, and of course, Krishna is sent Prabhupada with a purpose. So some help did coming from different quarters, right? So there are 3 Sharmas which help Prabhupada in a very significant way. Anybody Sharma here? In Bangalore, we don't find Sharmas, I'm sure. But if you're a Sharma, you should be very happy to hear what I'm saying, if you heard what I'm saying, right? So these are very special Sharmas. So this is a Sharma called as Hit Sharan Sharma, the center person, very venerable person for all of us. He is the owner of the Radha Press. This is that first printing press which printed Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So we are honored to have this great personality print Prabhupada's illustrious book, which has saved the planet practically. Right? So uh, he had a press, but he didn't have all the fonts. If you got a font, right? Now we have a font on the laptop, but you have a font there, physical font. So he had only number 10 font. Prabhupada wanted to have 12 font, right, for his book. So then he printed Prabhupada's, they would call it dust cover, the cover of the first Srimad Bhagavatam, that first showing of the planets, universes coming out from the body of Mahavishnu. That was printed by him. And therefore he referred Prabhupada to go to his friend who was owner of OK Press. So this is another very important. OK stands for O Krishna. So the OK Press gets the glory of printing the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, first, second, and third volume. Haribol. This was owned by his friend called as Gautam Sharma. Right? And now this is wonderful to hear, but the hard work which goes behind making a book. Now there are publishing houses. There's a house, departments which actually write articles, which proofread the articles, which print, which bind, which do the proof checking. There are whole departments doing all this, somebody in the layout. There's a whole house and various departments. Who's doing all this? One person. Right from getting the paper, from even the papers, the shops are mentioned. I don't want to get into that. In the shops, names are mentioned where Prabhupada purchased the paper from New Delhi, from Old Delhi. He purchased paper from there and he would give it to this thing, and they would print. And Prabhupada had no money. So, printer doesn't take an order unless you give him some advance, right? So somehow or the other, Prabhupada gathered some money from somewhere. He saved from Andheri station. It would take a bus to take to the India Navigation Company, take about, I think, 5 to 10 paisa. Prabhupada would not spend that 5 paisa because that would help him to buy paper, right? He would practically eat just a little bit of potatoes and simple rice and a glass of milk or something for the whole day to save money for his papers. Prabhupada would go back and forth between Vrindavan. How many times Prabhupada went from Delhi to Vrindavan? There is no account of that in history. Because Vrindavan would write in presence of Rupa Goswami and the Goswamis, and he would go there and you get it printed. You would write few things in the Chippiwara temple. So back and forth, back and so he needed money for the travel also, right? Nothing is free, right? How did Prabhupada manage that money? Nobody knows. And therefore, there's a third Sharma is Sri Krishna Pandit Sharma. This person is very important because he is a person who was a secretary of the Chippiwada temple. Right? And when he got in touch with Prabhupada, he could see that Prabhupada is such a noble soul, such a genuine soul, such a holy man, and he has no help. He is just a homeless person. So since he had this temple, which was have an empty loft, he gave him that place to stay where Prabhupada stayed. Then he gave him a mattress, he gave him the bucket, he gave him the lota, and provided all the chota mota things which a person requires to survive, have basic survival for existence, right? And he gave him a picture of Radha Krishna in his room. It was given to him by his Guru Maharaj, it was given to him by the king of Jaipur. So it was there in that place, right? So Prabhupada here sat there, and then because he helped him in so many ways, some pocket money also. Prabhupada had no money source. Please remember, this is a sannyasi who has absolutely no savings, no money, he has no accounts. Some of the sannyasis now may have money, but the Prabhupada had no money, right? So having helped him in so many ways, Prabhupada gave him a title. And I am more pleased to mention herewith that Sriman Krishna Pandit Sharma he's named as Hari Bhaktanu Das. Imagine Prabhupada giving a title to somebody. Can you believe that? The Acharya crowning the head of somebody with a title, Hari Bhaktanu Das, which is not different from Das Dasanu Das, right? So Prabhupada found that quality of nobility, help, and kind assistance in him, and he crowned him with that quality. And this is what is written in the guest book. which Prabhupada was staying in the Chipawara temple, the guest book. So 3 Sharmas, and then we move on to 3 years in Radha Damodar temple, 62 to 65. So this is the receipt book. On the left side is in the receipt leaflet of Prabhupada paying 25 rupees for 5 months advance rent. How much was the rent per month? 5 rupiah. But this is 5 rupiah of 1965, right? Not 1965, this is 1960, right? Where inflation was not to the extent what it is today. It was big money. And remember, not to find to get that room repaired, as I said, 300-year-old unused room, Prabhupada had to spend 500 rupees, which is like 5 lakh rupees today at least. And how did he get that money? Nobody knows, right? And he had to give that money because he wanted to stay next to the Goswamis for empowerment, but he had to spend 500 rupees to make it livable. And even then it was still toned down and worn down and all that, right? But just to make it livable, to have some floor and some roof and some, flowing water. Actually, there's no flowing water there. They had to get water from the Jamuna. So there was no water supply there. But some electricity and all. So that was Prabhupada 500 rupees. This is the receipt which, so the person who invited this called as Gorachand Goswami, the proprietor and owner of Radha Damodar Mandir at that time. And please look at this middle picture with a lot of reverence. We sang Guru Puja just few minutes back. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. So we worship Prabhupada's lotus feet, but let us worship Prabhupada's hands also. Right? These are those tireless hands which have hit the keyboard, the hard keyboard, millions of times. Even when Gautam, our Krishna Pandit Sharma would, in the middle of the night, if he ever came to a temple, Chipawara temple, he would hear in the middle of the night when everything is sannata, everything is shocked, everyone is sleeping at midnight, nobody is doing anything, not like nowadays, everything is quiet and pin drop silent. Still you find Prabhupada's fingers millions of times hit this. His heart was being manifest by the power of these fingers, right? How many times Prabhupada's soft fingers, our Translated diary mentions about what is his name? Hari Prabhu writes about how Prabhupada's finger, because massaging them, right? Prabhupada's fingers are very, 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 very soft. But how the soft fingers kept hitting the hard keyboard. And therefore, when they went to America, as you know the story, right? That Prabhupada had a whole, he invited Howard, Welly Howard, later Hayagri Prabhu. So he was an English professor, professor of literature, right? Said, can you help me edit some of these, some of my articles I've written? He said, yeah, Swamiji, I'm editing. He thought, say maybe some few pages I will edit and give it to him. And he took him inside and he opened the whole trunk. He opened proper whole trunk. He said, this is a lifetime's work. That lifetime's work came from how? Because of that, till somebody gave him technology and gave him a dictaphone, where then this had to then it stopped, right? So this is those beautiful fingers of Prabhupada we are seeing in this nice picture. On the right side, you are seeing Prabhupada's last Janamastami. So this is an important event of Radha Damodar Mandir, which we are putting here on record. So Janmastami, of course, took place just few days before. As you know, Prabhupada left on 13th August, right, 1965. So just few days in that August month was Janmastami, and he wanted to make it big. He wanted to make it really big. So this is the flyer which was there at the time, and he invited the governor of UP to come there. Imagine a small sannyasi who is a nobody, right? Can anybody just invite the governor today and will he just come because somebody living in a state invites him? But Prabhupada had this immense faith and he could wanted to reach out to anybody for Krishna's purpose. It wasn't for himself, right? It was for Krishna's purpose. So he would invite the governor and the governor came. We will show his picture. He's this Excellency Vishwanath Das, right? And G.D. Somani, another big philanthropist, he has a temple built in Vrindavan. He came as a chief guest. Prabhupada was always trying to latch on to Sreshthas. It was very clear. Yad acharati Sreshthas. If you get the big people involved in ISKCON will move faster. The movement will grow faster, right? So this is the three personalities fulfilling Prabhupada's dream. This is, as you know, Prabhupada had dreams. We get weird dreams, right? Now, what type of dreams you and I get, right? Our dreams are not worth mentioning what type of dreams we get. But when great souls get dreams, they are not dreams. Great souls don't get dreams. They don't dream like us. They get visions. Krishna and associates of Krishna appear to the great souls in visions during what we call as, in mundane way, as a dream. Sarojit Thakur came oftentimes in Prabhupada's dreams and said, Abhay Charan, take sannyas, take sannyas. He was beckoning him, pushing him, persuading him, take sannyas. Prabhupada get up from the dream, achanak, like that, hey, sannyas. How can I take sannyas, right? So Prabhupada was always sort of a little unprepared, he felt, in his own humility, that I cannot take sannyas, right? But then when it became very clear that his Sarojit Thakur has repeatedly cajoled him to go, go, go. If you have to preach, you need the power of the sannyas ashram to preach. So become a sannyasi, right? As it is, you are disconnected from the world, from a family. So Prabhupada approached at that time the Gaudiya Math chief of Bagh Bazar temple, Kunjabi Haridas, Bhakti Tirth Vilas Maharaj, right? And he said, okay, I want to take sannyas. So, you have to go to a god brother to give sannyas, right? So he was already a sannyasi. Said, okay, Abhay Charan, you can come and stay in our mutt. And as regards you're going to America, we will see what the management decides. And as regards printing your books, we will see, if there is time to print your books. After all, our books are printed, but you can come and stay here. We'll give you a nice facility. So he was welcoming, but he had this, we will see, we will see, we will see type of approach. Prabhupada said he had no time. He was, Prabhupada always, you will see and hear about Prabhupada, a sense of urgency. I said the world is on fire. When there's a fire, you don't just wait for getting the spade and order the something else and start digging slowly, and you just get into the whole mood, right? Because everything is on fire. Samsara down only the loka. Everything is on fire. Prabhupada had a sense of urgency. Therefore, he approached another god brother called as Keshav Maharaj. Right? So Keshav Maharaj was immediately more than eager. He said, Abhacharan, you should take sannyas immediately, right? So this temple you are seeing in the center is the Keshavji Gaudiya Math. If you ever go to Mathura, please do not fail to go there. This place is special for more than one reason. The deities inside are Shri Shri Radha Vinod Temple, Haribol. For all very dear to you. And on the left side, you are seeing Gauranga Mahaprabhu with raised right hand. That deity was given to that temple by Srila Prabhupada. As a Grihastha, Prabhupada was so generous. He had no income practically because, as you know, his business had failed. Krishna made his business fail. Because Prabhupada was a very astute businessman, but Krishna made his business fail in so many ways. He was predicted to be the richest man in the whole country when he was born, and actually he did become one of the richest mans in our country, right? So what you are seeing here, he went. So when Keshavji Maharaj agreed, so on one particular holy day, the sannyas day of Vishwarup sannyas day, holy day, very holy day. So he Prabhupada goes there, and you can see there, Sarojit Thakur is there. In the center is Keshavji Maharaj sitting there on this portrait. On the left side of him is His Divine Grace, Prabhupada. This is his first day of wearing saffron cloth with becoming a Tridandi Goswami Maharaj, right? And on the other side, you're seeing Muni Maharaj, who's another 90 or plus person who also took sannyas. Very few people were there in the mutt to, for the occasion. It was not like a big advertised, everyone comes, sannyas is happening. It was like some matavashis and all, chota chota people are coming and sitting there. And Krishna Maharaj tells Prabhupada, that time A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, that Swamiji, give a lecture, right? Give a lecture. There are hardly any people to give lecture, but Prabhupada gets up, and people who are living in the mud are all Bengali babus, right? So nobody knows English there, right? Only maybe Sarojit Thakur, Kishore Maharaj knew, and his brother was our Krishnadas Maharaj, Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj was there. He knew English. So he's a pretty dear God brother Prabhupada. But Prabhupada spoke in English, not in Hindi or Bengali. Why? He wasn't taking sannyas just like that. You know, the instruction was very clear. Preach in the not Bengali language, not Urdu language, not Kannada language, but in the English language. So he was now preparing for his world mission, for he stood up and spoke in clear-cut English because he was now ready as a sannyasi to launch his mission. So now, before going to there, this is you are seeing Prabhupada's, we're talking about three types of literatures Prabhupada wrote, three things. So this is the original copy of the cover page of Back to God magazine, volume 2, 1944. Right, you all are now seeing all four color printing and white colored alabaster paper and everything else, right? But this is the second volume of the original copy, which was printed by Srila Prabhupada at that time. So by Abhay Charan Day, October 1944. This is the original copy of that. And this book, how many of you heard this book, Light of the Bhagavata? Some of you are fortunate to hear this book. I'm sure hardly anybody in this room has read that book, but I'll tell you what this book is all about. It's a very special book to all of us because Dr. Mr. Nokano from Japan sent an invitation to India that they're having a world conference on the spirit, on human spirit, an international conference in Japan. So when the invitation came to India, so somebody who got the invitation said, "Oh, I know a person who is fit for this conference, and that is this sannyasi. He should be going for this because he is so well versed with Indian culture, literature, and he's a scholar of Sanskrit, etc. So he should represent India." So gave the invitation to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was thinking, "I want to actually go to America, right? But if Krishna wants me to go to Japan and start a movement, I'm absolutely okay with that." Right? Prabhupada was willing to do anything. He never left any, as they say in English, any stone unturned. He knocked at so many hundreds of doors. Most of the doors did not reply anything, and most of the doors which opened up also gave the big capital NO exclamation. Right? So this is one of those big no's here Prabhupada got. So he wrote, he said, so Mr. Nokano said that we will arrange for you to stay here. We will help you to, give you comfortable living here. We will arrange for you to speak. You can meet the, intelligentsia of Japan, everything. Just arrange for a back and forth travel fare. Prabhupada immediately got into action. He was excited. Japan, doesn't matter. I'll go to Japan and preach. Right? So he started working on two fronts. One is that how will the Japanese people ever understand Srimad Bhagavatam? Right? So he said, I will write a book where there are Prabhupada got 50 paintings made from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and those are like analogies. And analogies are revealing some siddhanta of this world. Like Shri Swami is writing about this one is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, that whole chapter is there. So he made these 50 paintings with 50 purports, left side painting, right side purports, and put into a book format, the Light of the Bhagavat, right? And he started frantically looking for donors to help him to go. And he even wrote to Radha Krishna, the then president of our country, right? And he approached the government and external ministers of Ministry of Affairs, Ministry for External Affairs, etc. And yet the answer was always no, we cannot give you money, right? So then he wrote to Mr. Nokano, please allow me to come. Can you do this for me? Arrange for the travel fare. He said, no, my hands are tied. I cannot do that. So the whole project finished, right? So the other book which you are seeing on the right side is again Prabhupada's intelligence that there's a in those time 1959, as you know, this whole moon mission was going on, right? Sputnik, all that was going on. Prabhupada was so much aware about the world affairs, even though he was Acharya, Radhakrishna Nitya Leela, he was involved in Radhakrishna Nitya Leela also on one side in his heart, but externally the antennas were totally open to see what's happening in the on the world scene, right? And therefore, as soon as the Sputnik was sent to the moon, right, he wrote a book, Easy Journey to Other Planets, right? And that actually got a lot of audience. People are writing the book. So these are very special three personalities who are Prabhupada approached. He approached many people, including Indira Gandhi later on. But here is His Excellency Vishwanath Das, Governor Uttar Pradesh, who was just about Prabhupada's age and a very pious person, Governor of UP, who came for Prabhupada's function. In fact, later on, after meeting Prabhupada in Radhavan Mandir, he invited him to come to his house in Lucknow, right? But Prabhupada went there because he's such a great saint, right? And there he met an important person. We'll talk about that, whom he met over there. Zakir Hussain, as you know, is not from a Hindu community, yet Prabhupada would write to him. And Prabhupada writes there to him a letter, said, I have, this is so important, right? Prabhupada writes that I have the clue of how we can send everyone back to Godhead. Look at Prabhupada's confidence. He's writing to a big leader that I have the clue how I can send everyone back to Godhead. Right? Who can say that? Who can say that? Right? So we can be assured that if we follow Prabhupada, where will we go eventually? Ribol. We are already in Vaikuntha because we are staying in this nice temple. And of course, then the person who helped Prabhupada in the last part of his mission was our Honorable Lal Bahadur Shastri. He was performing yoga in a yoga club, and his friend was Prabhupada's friend also. So he said, Swamiji, I'll get you in touch with Lal Bahadur Shastri. Prabhupada was more than eager because Delhi is a place where all ministers are staying, right? Prabhupada chose Delhi because all the big ministers of the country are staying in Delhi. And he wanted to have so much contact so that they can help him with his mission. So he went to meet Bahadur Shastri ji in the Parliament Garden, and he presented the Bhagavatam to him, and he looked at it. Somebody clicked a picture and said, this is very nice. This should go into all the libraries of our country, right? And moment Prabhupada got that word spoken, Prabhupada went into action and sent all the Bhagavatams to the libraries of our country. But how did he get the money to print those books? Now that is important. So three prominent donors. So on the left side, you are seeing this very important personality called as Hanuman Prasad Poddar, the one with that Sudama cap, right? A very elderly person at that time. Now he is no more in this world. I think he left in 1990 or something. This is in Gorakhpur, right? Everyone knows Gita Press is a place before BBT came in. Gorakhpur Press was and still is a very large distributor and printer of literatures, Ramayana, Mahabharata, various Samhitas and books like that. Cheap editions were there. So someone told him, in fact, Hicharan Sharma told him that Swamiji, he was willing to print his books, but for money, he said, you go to meet Poddarji, right? So at this time of one time when Prabhupada went to Poddarji, he had only 156 rupees in his pocket. And therefore he calculated, I will take some money to go from here to Gorakhpur. Then from there I had to take a rickshaw, then to come back. So practically Prabhupada left with any meager amount, nothing. But Prabhupada was willing to take that risk to go there and try out, even if it meant complete, his whole balance. There's no bank balance. It's just a pocket money in his there. That would become nil practically. But he went to this thing, and by Krishna's mercy, being a very a person who can understand quality of writing and the gravity of Prabhupada's divinity. So when he saw the book, he was so happy, and he gave Prabhupada at the time 4,000 rupees. And that set the stage for the first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam, which he brought back to Hicharan Sharma and said, this is your advance money. Now go and print the books. Right? So then Prabhupada kept on, if you get small donations here and there, Prabhupada would try to sell his books. So he went and gave his books to various booksellers in Delhi, right? And he would give the booksellers and said, please sell them, please promote them, sell them, promote them. And after some time, he'd come back and say, kuch becha kya, kuch hua kya, some money came. I think it was just maybe 8 rupees for a copy, if I'm not mistaken. There's 8 rupees for one copy of that was the cost. And even that was not getting sold. Somebody, Manolal Jain, was there. He was able to get a good sale. So you could see this man is working hard, single-handedly, printing, running here and there, looking for orders, promoting. Everything is doing all. It's one-man army. One-man army. So then through that hard work, Prabhupada went to LH, another sugar factory which is still there in UP. And that company's executive gave him 5,000 rupees, which is such a huge amount today, right? So second volume was printed, and then the third volume of first canto, So Prabhupada's godfather was called Kripa Sindhu Prabhu, who sent him to Mumbai. He said, Mumbai is a place where you can get good prospects. Right? So Prabhupada came there. Of course, he had godfathers here. As you know, Nana Chowk, we had a Gaudiya temple there. It was still there for a few years. Now it is not there. So he went there and he met some people, Mr. Dalmia, others, and all who did not give money. And then ultimately, they got a contact of Mrs. Sumati Morarji. Now, this person is very, very special to us. Very special to us, right? Sumati Morarji, her nickname when she was born was called as Jamuna. She was called as Jamuna. And she's one of the most powerful ladies our country has produced in women history. Because at a very young age, when her husband Shantilal Murarji developed paralysis, she became the director of the Indian Navigation Company, which had that time 54 cargo ships. And she was the international president of all navigation companies. International president. Can you imagine? One woman, a simple woman. Look at her face. She's like a Gujarati lady with pallu and with that big tilak on her head. But she had 6,000 employees working under her, right? A traditional lady, a very, very devout Pushti Margi. Pushti Margi means they are worshippers under the Sampradaya of Vallabhacharya, Sampradaya. So knowing that she is a Krishna Bhakta, Prabhupada said, this is my chance. She's already connected with Krishna and she has a soft corner for Krishna. She'll probably do the job, right? So he went to Andheri where she was staying. Navigation company, the housing colony was there. And he would stand at the gate where a car would just, sort of just go through and hoping that she will look at him and then she would stop him and then he would, say, can I talk to you and something, no? So Bholaram, the driver said, Swami ji, aisa nahi milenge, aap office chale jaiye. So he went to office, South Bombay, navigation company, there is a East India house was there. Prabhupada went there and would sit there at the office. Who would give appointment to him? She was such a big lady. She was considered as next to Indira Gandhi at that time. That was her power. She was extremely powerful lady, right? So who would give appointment to such a huge, industrialist and business magnate? You just can't walk into the people's rooms like that, right? You cannot barge. Was sit there like a transcendental beggar, hoping that somebody would give him appointment. So Mr. Choksi would come and said, "Okay, Swamiji." He said, "Madam, this Swamiji is sitting here on the steps." Now imagine, can you imagine somebody sitting on somebody's doorstep? What type of humiliation that brings to our heart? If you ever have any false ego, then you sit on somebody's doorstep waiting like a beggar. Prabhupada was a beggar, but he was begging. All beggars beg for themselves, right? Prabhupada was very open to beg for Krishna, his beloved Lord, right? So ultimately, Mr. Choksi said, Madam, this Swami is sitting for a long time here. Can you? Swami, so I said, Swamiji, you want to meet me? Come tomorrow, right? So when Prabhupada went the next day, she said again, big N-O, Swamiji, how can you go to America? You know what is America? Such a cold place. You have no place to stay there, right? Nobody's going to house you there. You have no contacts there. You will die. So she was very protective. She was very protective to Prabhupada. Prabhupada was not willing to accept no. No, I don't want to have your no. And Prabhupada ultimately played the emotional game. And said, so it's because she had said, you're like my father. How can I allow you to go like this? It's like sending my father to die. Said, will you not fulfill one desire of your father? पिताजी एक चीज मांग रहे हैं, पिताजी का इतना एक विश फुलफिल नहीं कर पाएंगे आप. So then being a woman, a nice lady, soft-hearted lady, Krishna Bhakta, had melted and said, Swamiji, I give you a free complimentary ticket to America. She had all these cargo ships, na? Jaladuta, Jalapushpa, Jalamanjari, all were Jala, 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 right? So Prabhupada went to Prabhupada expressed three different desires. This was in his heart. This was something which was in Prabhupada's heart. When will that day come and the temple will be established in every house? Look at the Acharya's desire. Every house should have, he just didn't want temples, 109 temples he made. That's true, that we all know today. But he wanted a temple in, by his desire, all of you and all of us have Gaunita in our house. How many people have deities in your house? Look at that, right? We all had, all of us have, if we don't have deities also, we have pictures of Radha Krishna, we have Gaunita, we have Jagannath Swami, we have Parampara. Everyone has a Krishna temple in his house. Is it not true? How does it happen? We were not like this before a few years. We were so-called Indians, pious, this, that, and everything else. We were not like this. This happened because of this desire of Prabhupada. He wanted to have a temple of Krishna in everybody's house on the planet. There, how many Gaurnitas are there in ISKCON today? How many Jagannath Swamis are there? How many people have all that? Because there's one desire of a pure devotee. When pure devotee desires something, it is called as the power of Satya Sankalpa. Right? Krishna has to make that desire fulfilled. Second desire was, when will that High Court judge be a Gaudiya Vaishnava? We are hoping to see one of our judges is there in Mumbai, who's in the High Court. And he's connected with the Supreme Court also, but he's not at the highest bench still, but he's a Gaudiya Vaishnava, initiate disciple, right? When the Vaishnava winning votes be elected as a president of the land. So he wanted to have, Prabhupada had full faith in Krishna conscious monarchy. But even if you had a president in democracy, the president should be a Vaishnava. The presidents in Lok Sabha should start with a Hare Krishna Kirtan. All of them should be Brahman Chakra initiated. Prabhupada's desires were so radical. And we will say, hey, how can we think? But Prabhupada was not thinking of the impossible. For him, impossible was not even there in his dictionary. He wanted to desire the best for the planet. And he knew what is the best thing from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the only way it can happen. Right? So he was so determined and in his convictions. The Prabhupada wrote these are nice three beautiful songs which are sung by Prabhupada during the last Janmashtami, which are mentioned over here. These are very important documents. On the left side, you are seeing, now we have reached a place time in our presentation where Prabhupada is very close to his final journey to going to America, right? So the left side, you are seeing when Prabhupada went to Lucknow at the house of Vishwanath Das, the governor, he met a very flamboyant singer called as Shishir Bhattacharya, a young man from a Bengali Babu from Kolkata, a very young man, very high-spirited person. And they were singing prasad together. Prabhupada had this habit of keeping a diary with him, so any important contact he had, these old timers, they have this, Prabhupada, can you give me a phone number? So they would write in a diary, right? Diary, name, address, this, that, whatever, all contacts were there. So he got the address and the phone number of Shishir Bhattacharya. Now, when he was just 1 week away from that final date, 13th August, he came again to Kolkata, but he didn't meet any Gaur Brother because very strange relationship was there. He didn't meet any family members because already he had taken sannyas. So he had nobody to go to in the place where he was born and living for so many years. So he just had one contact now, Shishir Bhattacharya. We phoned him and said, Swamiji, oh yeah, please come. So he started staying in his home. It took him around various places to have preaching programs for the last week also. Prabhupada was preaching till the very end. And he took him, Shishir Bhattacharya felt that this is big news here. A Swami is going to America to make Krishna consciousness happen. ये तो बड़ा news होना चाहिए. So he took Prabhupada to all the newspaper walas, all the big Dainik this and Dainik that, and various patrikas and all the important papers of Kolkata. But answer was always no, right? And then one Dainik Basumati, a small paper, a small daily, accepted to write this small article which you are seeing, Prabhupada's this thing, this Bengali clipping is actually there. And he said that there are people waiting in America for Swamiji. Swamiji is going to America. So this is good news. Etc. So a small cutting, this actual cutting of that Dainik Basumati paper, right? And the middle one you are seeing is the sponsor letter of Gopal Agrawal. Who's Gopal Agrawal? Gopal is a very important person. He's a person who actually, where Prabhupada stayed in Butler, Pennsylvania, right? After went to New York, Boston to New York to, took a bus, 13 hours bus to Pennsylvania, Butler. Butler is a place where Trump was shot. So I don't know, but he was saved because Prabhupada visited that place. It's a holy place. Anyway, so this sponsor letter tells us about the person who sponsored Prabhupada from India. Is the father of Gopal Agrawal. Anybody knows his name? Everyone knows Gopal Agrawal and his good wife Sally Agrawal. That all of us know. But his father's name, so often it says Mathura businessman, Mathura businessman. Prabhupada was meeting so many people and said, I want to go to America. And people, somebody would say yes, no, yes, no, yes. So somebody said yes. Prabhupada said yes. So many people say yes, and nobody does anything, right? But this person actually sort of letter to his son and said, hey, Swamiji is coming here. Send us a letter from America. His name is Prasad Agrawal. Because Gopal Agrawal writes his father's name here. This is the only document in the world which tells about the person who actually gave a letter to send Prabhupada to America. His name is Prasad Agrawal, his son Gopal Agrawal. And this is the sponsor letter which he was sent. And on the right side, you're seeing Prabhupada's visa. The actual visa, Prabhupada went there and he didn't have a very long visa, just for a few months. And then Prabhupada extended 3 times before actually he got somebody to really have an extended stay in America. He would have it extended for 2 months. Prabhupada come back to Boston and look, when is the Jaludot going back? Because in the first few months, Prabhupada had absolutely no success. He didn't have a footing. He didn't have a footing where he could actually start something, right? Think, should I go back? Should I go back? Should I go back? But something held him back. Something felt, I should still try. I should still try. I should still try. Even though New York was so cold and bitter, nothing was happening. Prabhupada never gave up hope. He never gave up hope. He was never in a hopeless situation. And then we come to the last part. This is those historical, beautiful 3 pictures, right? 13th August. We should always worship this date in our heart, right? The date when from Kiderpur, dockyard, Kolkata, Prabhupada stepped into the Jaladuta, right? And just 2-3 people were there to say goodbye to him. Nobody was there. Damchandra, his son, was there. Shishir Bhattacharya was there, and one servant was there. Prabhupada climbed there inside, found a room very comfortable. And then after a few days, Prabhupada, as you know, had a terrible time. Old man traveling through a rough sea. There are tidal waves taking place in the ocean, Pacific Ocean, right? And therefore, there was so much of turmoil in his health. Prabhupada developed 2 heart attacks. And this is that day when, in between, I believe it was about 12 to 13 days after his climbing Jaladuta, where the miracle happened. The most important miracle for us is when all the Dashavatars come in a vision to Prabhupada when he's about to leave his body, that we have taken charge of this cargo ship, right? And you please just go ahead and you're fully protected. So the Dashavatars come and take charge of the Jaladuta. Prabhupada's life is saved. And then after that, Mr. Pandya, who was the captain of Jaladuta, said, hey, in so many years of my being a captain on the crossing Atlantic, I never found Atlantic so calm. We cannot believe this. Atlantic was always so rough. But after this incident, it became so placid. Right? So post this miracle, Prabhupada's journey was rather simple and safe. Prabhupada could start eating something, right? And on 17th September, after the long journey of so many days, we landed in America. And that's how ISKCON, uh, uh, the step of the person who made ISKCON happen in the world. He goes to a place which he desired and fulfilled the desire of all his predecessor acharyas. Prithivite achayad nagaradi gram sarvada prachar hoibe moranam. So all that we can say to Srila Prabhupada is, so we are here, dear devotees. It is a time for us to make our own reciprocation, right? Prabhupada has given his life, his sweat. Every molecule of his transcendental body was offered in service to the mission of his spiritual master, for the service of all of us, to bring us to where we are today, right? As I was saying yesterday, what we would have been doing on a Sunday if you are not in ISKCON. We can imagine what we would be doing, right? But we are all here wearing tilak and kanthi, wearing dhoti, kurta, saris, right? Living a, trying to live a very pure and pious life, surrendering our lives to Krishna. So it is now time for us to really reciprocate. Reciprocate. Prabhupada wanted every Indian to reciprocate. Prabhupada was very much hopeful that Indians would take it up, right? And he is, I'm sure, happy to see all of us here who are young people, young students are here, wonderful qualified grihasthas are here taking it up. But we require two things only to make Prabhupada happy. What are those two things? Complete commitment and willingness to make sacrifices, right? On a personal level, we commit ourselves wholesale, right? Wholesale to Prabhupada's philosophy by embracing it wholeheartedly and not getting our minds diverted to this or that or this. It is Prabhupada. He is the savior. He is the one who's going to take us back to Godhead, right? So complete commitment to his philosophy, living Prabhupada's books, and whatever sacrifices we need to make are justified. Because Prabhupada said, I spent 200 gallons of blood to make one devotee, right? So, at our own level, whatever, whether we are Hanumans or whether we are squirrels, whatever we are, but we need to make that commitment and uh, we may need to make a commitment and willing to make sacrifices for Prabhupada, right? Because it will be so unbecoming of us that we have taken so much from Prabhupada, right? And they say that the two most important days in your life are when you are born, and second day is when you understand why you are born. It is more important days. So we are born because of our good parents, but we never knew why we are born. We didn't know the purpose of our life. We thought, doing IIT was good, earning money was good. We thought having a good family was. We thought all these things were good. But you know what is the goal of our life? The person who gave all of us a direction, a purpose to live for and die for is His divine grace. And how important is such a person in our life who tells you what is the purpose of your life? That you are Jivara Swarup Krishna Nitya Das. This is your only singular identity and nothing else. Right? To live by that lofty principle, we need to make some sacrifices. Let us pray to Prabhupada that we can live up to his expectations. Prabhupada has so much expectation from all of us. We want to live up to his expectations, right? So I thank you all very, very much. And Prabhupada was, like Hanuman, right? In all our temples, we have Garudji and Hanumanji. And so Hanumanji actually flew across the south, even the south direction, to search for Mother Sita. And Prabhupada went to the west, right? But just like Hanumanji had so many challenges, Surasa and Simhika and all that, right? Prabhupada had so many obstacles on the way to his journey also, right? But Prabhupada saved Mother Sita from being lost, right, in the world. So uh, actually, we made a nice drama on Hanumanji, and this year in Gopinath Mandir we perform dramas every year. So glorifying Hanumanji when Ramlala's temple was built, right, and it was inaugurated by our uh, honorable Prime Minister. So we wanted to at Gopinath Mandir wanted to make an offering to Ramlalla, our such a historical temple which has going to be the parallel of Vatican, right? So that is such an important temple for the planet to revive Sanatan Dharma. So we wanted to make an offering to this temple. So we at Gopinath Mandir made uh, uh, a drama on Hanumanji. So how many would you like to see the drama? So, so we can give it to we can give the link to you. This is an RG Media, but we can give the link to our dear friend, right, Balaji Prabhu. And if there is a WhatsApp group or something, you can give it on. But see it, you will see it. It's a very high tech, and yeah. Say it again. What is that? Yes. So it is a mood of seeing how Hanumanji uh, is We are remembering Prabhupada through Hanumanji, right? Hanumanji brought Sita and Prabhupada brought Krishna to us. So remembering in that mood of being a perfect and Das, Hanuman is the perfect Das of Ram, and Prabhupada is the perfect Das of Gauranga and Nityananda. So I thank you all very, very much for your patient hearing. I hope you Prabhupada's life is so. We request devotees to always do two things. Grass are usually very kacha on reading books, Prabhupada's books. But there are two types of books we should read. One is books by Prabhupada, the BBD publications, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Ishopanishad, Nectar Devotion to Instruction. But also, as much as those are important, books about Prabhupada, right? About Prabhupada, right? So it is, we cannot digest the lofty philosophy of Krishna consciousness till in our hearts we have the deepest appreciation for the exemplary life of Prabhupada. Only when you combine these two things, then actually the heart becomes receptive to the grace of the Lord, right? So in our ISKCON old days, when we became devotees, I remember it was stressed a lot to read Prabhupada Lilamrit, right? And honestly, in my own personal life, though I liked the philosophy when I read the Sense of Self-Realization, it was like I was knocked off by that philosophy completely. This is the highest philosophy. But more than that book, when I read Prabhupada's Lilamrit during my final MBBS days, that sealed my fate completely. He said, I don't have to look left, right, up or down anywhere now. He is a person. He is the only person who I'm going to, owe my life to. So I request all of you, my dear friends, devotees, to also spend some of your valuable time in picking up books about Prabhupada. And there are so many of them by Giriraj Maharaj, by Tamal Krishna Maharaj, the Transcendental Diary is there. Then Vishaka Dev is written. There are dozens of writers who are glorifying Prabhupada's transcendental qualities. And therefore, unless we have a personal relation with Prabhupada, we cannot imagine to have relation with Krishna directly. It is a utopian idea, right? Our relation with Krishna and Radha Krishna, Radha Binodji, Radha Rasvihariji, Radha Gopinathji is to the extent we actually develop a personal, deep relation with His divine grace, right? By His grace, He will open the doors to our relationship with Sri Krishna, right? Therefore, we need to endeavor individually to develop a connection with His divine grace on a personal level, right? And that's the way that we go ahead through the parampara to Gaurnitai and to Radha Vinodji. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Srila Prabhupada ki. Haribo. Okay, you want to have questions? I thought it was 10 o'clock. One question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for your very nice class. I had one question. Yesterday, small thing about Vanaprasthashram, and today you are talking about sannyas, Prabhupada's thoughts about that. Now, being a grihastha, so the question arises to serve this movement. So should I continue in grihasthashram? Should I progress to Vanaprastha? Should I take sannyas?
Ask your wife. Ask your wife this question.
What is the framework in which how we should think about this, Prabhu?
The simple framework is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a sannyasi on one side, Sri Damodar Goswami on the Grihastha on the other side, Ramananda Rai, right? So Mahaprabhu is showing that for me, both of them are, and His divine grace, as talking about His divine grace, He got more achieved to His Grihastha disciples than His sannyasis. He sent those three divine couples to where? To London, and conquered London, which was His Guru Maharaj's desire. So we can see from these two examples that wherever you are, you worship Krishna to the best of your capacity. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So after this wonderful rendition and how to commit to appreciate more what Srila Prabhupada has done for us and how we all get connected and stay in this moment, let us all express our deep gratitude to His Grace Dwarakadish Prabhu, and we also have his good wife here, Grace Vishaka Pray Mataji. They have come to Bangalore. We had a nice session yesterday also on the Tree of Life. So let us all thank once loudly by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Naresh, I think Prabhu wanted to give some update on the court case that had happened.
Hare Krishna. 24 years back, we had filed a case by Hare Krishna Hill and Bombay Temple, our Bombay head office. So it has come to a conclusion. Now, I think day before yesterday it concluded. Now the judge is asking us to give a written submission. Another 15 days, we are going to present it. So all of you pray ISKCON should win. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So a quick introduction to Prabhuji and Mataji so that we can enhance our amplifier appreciation also. Dwarakadish Prabhu is a postgraduate MD in internal medicine and a senior physician at the Bhaktivedanta Hospital and Research Institute in Mira Road, Mumbai. He is also the co-founder, trustee, and head of Department of Medicine. His spiritual quest brought him to ISKCON in 1982 and was fully satisfied when he read Srila Prabhupada's books and got initiated in 1986. Vishaka Priya Mataji was introduced to Bhakti in 1985 when she was in the 9th grade and took initiation in the same batch in 1986. Of course, at the time they did not know each other, but senior well-wishing Vaishnavas catalyzed their relationship and they got married in 1990. They were the first couple to get married in the Radha Gopinath temple, and the Yajna ceremony was performed by their Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj. They have been serving as counselors since over 3 decades and offering weekly deity worship since the installation of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. They're also part of the Grahastha Vision Committee at Radha Gopinath Temple and have been guiding hundreds of devotees through lectures and seminars on leadership, Vaishnava lifestyles, premarital training, and marital counseling, thus helping couples to lead a harmonious Krishna conscious family life. And with the intent to share what they have learned and gathered over the years, they have been traveling to many places in India as well, in Kolkata, Hyderabad, Pune, Bangalore, Kolhapur, Nasik, etc. regularly, and overseas to Mauritius, Malaysia, USA. And one of their favorite services is acting and directing professional dramas at their annual drama festival. You may watch this beautiful, heartwarming, soul-touching dramas on YouTube of RG Media. Vishaka Priya Mataji has been a successful IYS girls trainer through her annual summer camps since last 20 years. Basically, they love being with Vaishnavas and having 6 loving exchanges with them. So once again, a big Haribol for both of them. Haribol! And as Prabhuji had asked to share their drama, I already have the link Mataji has sent me. I'll request devotees to share in a group. Today's Kannada translation of the class that we had was His Grace Vishwapati Krishna Prabhu. So Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for Prabhuji also. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Do we have any newcomers today who come for the first time? Newcomers? We have we have Ravi Loshan Gaurang Prabhu sponsoring the Prasadam today, and Prabhuji, I want to mark the occasion of Sumukhi Sri Radha Mataji and Sangini Shruti Priya Mataji's birthday. One was before and one is coming up. Can we have Mataji just stand up so that I would request Vishaka Priya Mataji if you can just hand over the Mahaprasada garlands. Let us all also loudly chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for the spiritual benefit of both this month. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Thank you so much, Mother. 31st is Ekadashi, and Parna time is 6:05 to 10:19. Please make a note of that. It is Kamika Ekadashi.
ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. 31ನೇ ತಾರೀಕು ಕಾಮಿಕಾ ಏಕಾದಶಿ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ಪಾರಾಯಣ ಟೈಮು 6 to 10 PM, 10 AM.
How many of you have seen something new that is when you enter the Bhagavatam temple? Anybody has noticed? Anybody has noticed a new mural that has come up just below the door as you enter the hall? So there are few devotees who had sponsored so that we can get this mural. The painting is pending. The painting might happen another 2-3 months. We can be working on that. It will be similar to what we have, what is in the other side, the Shada Goswami. So we'll have a nice, wonderful painting done for the mural as well. So we had a few devotees who had sponsored, and this was even when the mural was not up. We had requested devotees, those who are all interested can make some donations. So we have, I'll just call out the names and we can once chant Hare Krishna Maha for them. It's Ashokatma Vasudev Prabhu, Priya Darshan Prabhu, Srinivas Prabhuji, Sankarshan Priya Prabhu, and Srinivas Gopal Prabhu, and also Somapati Haridas Prabhu. So let us all loudly once chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for this wonderful devotees. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
And as usual, Nitya Seva, a wonderful opportunity for all of us, for your friends and near ones and dear ones also, to contribute on a monthly basis. Team is working on getting this auto debit facility also. There were some technical issues, but I think it is getting resolved. So yeah, it is already resolved. Prabhu is giving a thumbs up. So those devotees who are not yet connected through the Nitya Seva, contributing to the various facilities and contributions the temple does in terms of offering prasadam, and also each one of us can get mercy from Shri Radha Vinod. Please connect with the accounts department or with Prasadesha Krishna Prabhu if you are not enrolled for the Nitya Seva, or if you want any of your friends who want to just contribute. Any meager amount is welcome. So please connect with the finance department or with Prasadesha Krishna Prabhu. For next Sunday, this is an announcement for next Sunday. We have a little, the schedule is a little different. So 8:30, this will be circulated in the group as well. 8:30 will be Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll be hearing Srila Prabhupada's class. At 9:15, there will be a documentary video. This is called as the Monarch of the Blue Mountain. This is by somebody named Dr. Piyush Roy. And so Dr. Piyush Roy is the Dean of RV College of Fine Arts. So we'll play this documentary. It's almost 1 hour 45 minutes. Then we'll have a panel discussion with Dr. Piyush Roy at around 10:15, and at 10:45 we will have Jagannath Ashtakman Prasadam. So please make a note of this little difference in the schedule on 4th August, that is next Sunday. Yeah, so we'll share this in the WhatsApp group as well. So we all will gather down for Jagannath Ashtakam. Hare Krishna.